Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. Last time we did the opposite of linking the first flame after we defeated the final boss of the game. Final two bosses, actually, because we fought the Twin Princes as well. This time, it's the bonus video, where we have a couple of remaining things left that I wish to cover before I close the series out for good. As a result, there's gonna be no real action-packed gameplay here. I'm just gonna be talking a lot about stuff. So, hope you're all okay with that. For starters, upon beating Lord of Cinder, no. Upon beating Soul of Cinder, we have 100,000 souls, but we also have their soul, which can indeed be transposed with the corpse of Ludleth. Maybe we can't transpose it after all. Maybe we have to wait for a certain later thing. Actually, no, it's just fine. He disguises himself as an item. Oh, no, he is Skull Ring. I've never heard of that. Well, hang on, let's check that out right now. One of Corland's transposed wonders, derived from the soul of a soul feeder. Easier to be detected by... Why? The Soul Feeder was a beast that insatiably absorbed souls to feed its own power. Even after its accursed corpse was burned, it is said that the pungent stench of souls left the air permanently stained. Well, whatever you want to do, I guess. We can still transpose with his crown, because his crown is all that matters. And the Soul of the Lords gives you Sunlight Spear, hurls a Sunlight Spear. The tales of Gwyn's Archdragon hunts describe the inception of the Age of Fire, as well as the Fire Link Great Sword. The Lords of Cinder linked the first flame, and this greatsword was wielded by their Deific manifestation. This coiled sword, found thrust in the bonfire, existed long before the Throneless Lords themselves. I'm taking that because we finally get to wield the coiled sword, which the Urex Gundyr dropped, and some people probably thought that was a weapon, but it turns out no, you just shove it into the shrine to make a bonfire. That appears to be all they give you. Thanks, Bloodless Crown. On top of this, you should have something new for us. Yes, indeed, the Fire Link armor set. This is what the Soul of Cinder was wearing, which, by the way, the promotional picture that I used in this thumbnail, in the thumbnail for this video, that's the Soul of Cinder. And he appears the same way at the end of the introduction sequence, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if I have enough to buy all this. I do! Awesome! Leggings of the Soul of Cinder, a Deific manifestation of the Lord's Cinder. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Link the first flame. They resemble a knight's leggings but bear hideous burns and contortions. They exist as a symbol of the great lords in the noble act of linking the fire, though they are no more than empty husks. That's a shame. This one has a space in between. Okay, they all have a space in between except the pants.
Ashen One, if when thou peerest upon the first flame, thou wishest yet for a world without fire, for an end to the linking of the fire, then call upon me. I am a firekeeper, and I tend to the flame to the very end. Thou hast given me eyes, and such it was they showed me.
Apparently you're supposed to come back and talk to her after that. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna level up. I don't have enough souls to do it anyway. She skipped the farewell. How dare you? That's fine. I did kind of, you know, do the opposite of what I was supposed to, so I can understand her for being mad. I need to sell some of this. For our first thing to do today, I have an appointment booked in the Grand Archives. Oh. On the way to where I wanted to go, I found Orbek's ashes. Apparently Orbek dies after that. After you beat the Twin Princes. That's a shame. It's like I said, everyone fucking dies at the end of their side quest. Orbek was fascinated with sorcery, but without means, so he offered to serve as an assassin in exchange for acceptance into the Dragon Academy, believing that one day he could reinvent himself as a sorcerer. And he did. I mean, I helped with that, I think. What is your obsession with falling off cliffs, my man? Why do you keep falling? Actually killed him on the platform this time. You will not escape me once again! That was very easy. Twinkling Titanite Sharp Gem. Cool, I'm out of here. Bye! My next target is you. Don't run up the wall and die this time. Oh my god. Oh god, come on. There we go. You drop Twinkling Titanite. So it actually doesn't drop a large shard like I thought it did. Rude. I could have missed a couple other items on this, but I don't really care. Gotta be honest, so I'm just gonna take the Crystal Lizard and go. And that should be every single Crystal Lizard in the game now. I hope and think.
It's as if I'd take note, as by now though there is little.
Okay. She says the same exact thing for Orbex Ashes as all the other NPCs. What you sell now? Probably all his spells and whatever. You have your own Farron Dart. You have 2 different Farron Darts. That's pretty funny. Heal Aid. Do I have this yet? I'm gonna get it, in case I don't. I didn't have it yet. Awesome. Good thing I got it in the end, because I'm pretty sure I have every single spell in the game now. In the base game, anyway. Oh yeah, I decided to go online, so we're gonna be seeing some lovely messages around the place. Okay, that's all the initial gameplay stuff over with. Let's actually get to the big topics I'd like to go over. First of all, I am sure you are wondering, what are the other endings? And I'll be happy to explain. First though, I should point out, you cannot get another ending after you've seen one. You can only get one ending per playthrough. I'm not sure why, but them's the rules. They want you to prove yourself a second time. I understand. But I'm not gonna sit here and play this game 3 more times to show you the remaining 3 cutscenes. So instead, I shall borrow some footage from Lord Cloud Strife. I think that's their username. I hope you're okay with me using your footage for this. But they had the best, like, all endings videos that I could find. Alright, so what we got here? Time for composure. Bonfire, okay. Let there be dark. I agree with that. Let there be dark indeed. If you choose to link the first flame, this is what you see. If you saw that ending and was like, what, that's it? Then, yeah, that's about right. Compared to how explosive lighting the first flame was in Dark Souls 1, that's what the first flame lighting the first flame looks like now. You can tell that it has faded greatly over the many, many ages we've seen. Someone's fighting the boss here. Secondly, this one isn't really an ending as much as it is a variation of the End of Fire ending, the Age of Dark ending that we got. You may have noticed, it may have been a little bit dark, but during the last few bits of that cutscene, you regain control of your character, and during that brief moment, you can attack the Firekeeper.
Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
So it's kind of a selfish route. You take the ember from within her, the most powerful ember, the one from the first flame, and put it in yourself? I guess it's like restoring an ember, but way more powerful? I don't know if the Age of Dark still happens after that or what, but I also don't know why you would even go for that route in the first place. That ending doesn't even give you an achievement, so there's even more of a why would you do this? Just because it's a secret, and secrets are cool, I can understand that. The final ending is a little bit more complex. In order to explain how to get that, we have to start the exciting show of what in the name of heck is the deal with Yoel and Yuria? I did do the first part of their side quest in this playthrough, but I did not complete it, and so I shall walk you through on how to complete it now. First of all, when you're heading to Undead Settlement, find Yoel on the bridge and talk to him, and then allow him to enter your service. This will bring him here. Once he is here, come talk to him and draw out True Strength. This will put a Dark Sigil in your inventory in the key item slot, which will then begin to accrue hollowing every time you die from there on. Next, as you go through Undead Settlement, Road of Sacrifices, Cathedral of Deep, that section of the game, you want to die. Dying can either happen on its own or happen on purpose if it's taking too long. Whatever the case is, you need to die. Dying will add however many Dark Sigils you have to your hollowing. So if you have 1 Dark Sigil, it'll add 1. If you have 2, you'll gain 2. You can draw out True Strengths even more once you reach 2, 6, 12, and 15 hollowing. If you want, you could just go all the way to 15, where you'll turn into Freddy Krueger, and then you'll have access to all draw True Strengths. But if you do, keep drawing True Strength as you go, you'll get to 15 much faster. Make sure that you draw a True Strength all 5 times, that you reach 15 hollowing, and do all of the True Strengths before killing Abyss Watchers. If you kill Abyss Watchers before 5 True Strengths are drawn, the quest is basically cancelled. Yoel will just be dead on the floor, Yuria will not appear. Once you do... That's an interesting place to put a message, sir. Fine work. Once you do have all 5 True Strengths drawn, Yuria of Londor will appear in the shrine and sell the items that she sells you. I did show off the items she sells back in episode 5 if you'd like to go see. By the way, once Yuria's here, a little sub-quest can take place where she'll tell you to go kill Orbeck of Vinheim. I thought the process was a lot more involved, like find a summon sign somewhere where you can invade his world and kill him. No, you can just walk up and smack him. That's it. From there, proceed into the Catacombs of Karthus. You'll find Henri in a couple spots where they'll tell you that they lost Horus and ask you if you have any information. The simplest thing to do here is just don't tell them what Horus is. If you do, make sure Horus is dead, or else they will die to Horus. And they will not move on to Irithyll, which is where you want them to go. Once that is done, Henri will be here in the Church of Yorshka. And here is the critical moment. While Henri is here, there is an extra statue probably standing right here in this corner. It is a Londor Pilgrim assassin disguised as a statue using the chameleon spell. You can come over here and kill her, and if you do that, Henri will be later available to help defeat Aldrich, Devourer of Gods, where you get summoned as a phantom, so it doesn't kill Aldrich for you, I don't believe. But anyway, for this side quest, we don't want to kill the Pilgrim. Leave the Pilgrim alive and let her do her thing. Once that is done, she will kill Henri. At this point, you can return to Yuria of Londor, and she will tell you, your spouse is ready. After that, once you reach this point in the climb up to Anor Londo, this Pilgrim, the Pilgrim Assassin, will be alive, and talking to her will give you a sword, which you must take all the way to the end of this hallway where Henri's dead body is. From there, stab the sword inside Henri to complete the wedding ceremony. Yeah, it's weird. This will marry Henri's Dark Sigils to your own, and you will now have 8. Supposedly, Henri had 3, so that adds 3 to your 5 from drawing True Strength 5 times, and now you have 8. This is why Henri is the opposite gender of your player character. Because in the Land of Hollows, apparently gay marriage is illegal. All the more reason not to go for the ending. Anyway, once this is done, the quest is complete, and you may now progress to the end of the game. Once all is said and done, interact with the main bonfire here, and instead of the normal Link the Flame ending, you will see this. It's kind of a weird ending. I don't understand why I would go for it myself. I guess you give the Hollows something to look forward to, you rebuild their home of Londor, but throughout the whole game, the Hollows have done nothing but attack me, so why would I care? It seems to be a fan favorite ending, though, for whatever reason. I guess just because it's kind of secret and out of the way and requires this whole big side quest to do, but personally, I just didn't want to go for it. I don't really like being Lord of Hollows. I'd rather have all 4 ring slots, thanks. And to me, the Age of Dark ending just fits the best. It is worth noting, though, that if you decide to go for all achievements, there is an achievement for the Usurpation of Fire ending, as it's called. There's also an achievement for the regular Link the Fire ending, as well as the one for the ending we got. Not one for attacking the Firekeeper, though. It's best not to do that. Which brings us nicely into the next topic. Achievements. Donning a new outfit for this, the Eastern set. The achievements of Dark Souls 3 are all very progression-based. There's nothing like hit 5 hollows off the cliff, or get through the undead settlement in less than 6 minutes. There's nothing like that. All of the achievements are based on progressing to certain points in the game, or completing certain aspects of the game. First off, there are 2 achievements for lighting your first bonfire and then getting your first ember. You are pretty much guaranteed to get those 2 in the first hour of gameplay, so those are no problem. From that point, every single boss fight in the base game gives you an achievement. It's worth noting that it is perfectly possible to obtain all achievements base game only. DLCs do not give achievements, so you do not need to own the DLC to get all the achievements in this game. And now for the achievements that involve completing various aspects of the game. You get an achievement for collecting and turning in every single Estus shard, all 10, or 11 actually, and one for turning in every single Undead Bone shard, all 10 of them. You'll also get one for upgrading any weapon to +10. I don't think upgrading one of these special weapons to +5 counts. You need to upgrade a regular Titanite shard weapon to +10. On top of that, you get another achievement for doing every single infusion. And you know what? To make up for my lack of infusions across my past playthroughs, why don't I just go and infuse some swords that I'm probably never gonna use? Here, I need souls. I used up all my soul items, and I'm not about to go farm for that. Never mind. But for doing one of every single infusion, no matter if you use it or not, you'll get an achievement for that. You get another achievement, Master of Expression, I know this one's name, for getting every single gesture. And I'm pretty sure I am only missing 2 gestures, and I can't get them anymore. For summoning Blackhand Gothard or Londor Paleshade, they both give you a gesture each, so I missed my chance. I had a perfect chance to do so in episode 5, and I missed my chance. Whoops. You get an achievement for discovering each covenant, aside from Spears of the Church, as that is the DLC covenant, and DLCs aren't counted. You don't actually have to do the covenants, actually have to participate in the covenant, just finding them gives you the achievement, but you will still have to do the covenants if you're going, participate in the covenants if you're going for all achievements anyway, because here comes the hard stuff. There are 3 achievements for collecting every single spell. One for all sorceries, one for all miracles, and one for all pyromancies. All in the base game, not DLC stuff. So Way of White Corona and whatever else, Snap Freeze, Frozen Weapon, stuff like that aren't counted. In order to obtain every single spell, you are probably going to have to do the covenants a little bit. I hear that the Blue Sentinel / Blade of the Dark Moon covenant is one of the worst ones to do. Yeah, that's a woman. Because there might not be that many players online using the Way of Blue Covenant, so the Blue Sentinels don't have much of a job, and if they can't do that, the only other option is to go farm the Silver Knights, and you probably need all 30 Proofs of Concord kept in order to get the Dark Moon Blade. I can't remember. It's been a while since I made that video. Cut me some slack. I do go over what the Covenant items are in episode 11, so if you'd like to have a refresher on which ones give you spells, go check that out. And then there's an achievement for collecting every single ring. I might be missing a few bit rings in this base playthrough, but I think I got most of them. However, This achievement is not just talking about the regular versions of the rings. It also wants you to find the upgraded versions of the rings throughout New Game Plus. The +3 versions found throughout the DLCs don't count towards this. With one minor exception we'll get to much later. We'll go over the New Game Plus stuff later, but you do need all of the upgraded versions of the rings as well to get this achievement, which means that, plus the ending achievements, basically means you're gonna have to play the game 3 times. Finally, true to From Software's PlayStation roots, they added a Platinum Trophy achievement called the Dark Soul, which you obtain upon completing every other achievement. Oh. Ember indicates Host of Ember's presence. Those icons on the fast travel screen tell you where various Hosts of Embers might be. I guess it's like giving me an idea of, hey, maybe you can go be summoned by them in these areas. I doubt it counts for players who aren't Embered. I think the icon on the top, yeah, it also has a little bit of a fiery outline to show that. So, that's cool. Cool, subtle little thing I didn't go over back when talking about multiplayer. That should be it with achievements. Now, before I forget, there is actually one final side quest I'd like to do. Leonhard's. I have refrained from doing Leonhard's side quest until now because it does require you to join Rosaria's fingers and turn in a pale tongue to Rosaria, not spending it on rejiggering your stats or anything like that. I refrained from doing so because doing that causes Cirrus to not like you anymore. But now Cirrus is dead. So, who cares? Let's go do it! Sorry, Cirrus, I'm making you roll within the grave. Covenant allegiance deepened. Now, if we look behind us... Leonhard is in this room. What do people have to say about Rosaria? Try attacking. Fair enough. May the flames guide thee. That's pretty random. That's not what I meant. Interacting with messages does have a pretty low priority. Try tongue. Well, you're not wrong. Unfortunately, you're not wrong.
So, you've chosen to serve Rosaria after all? She will be pleased with me for finding her another finger. But be warned, my friend. Rosaria's fingers need only fetch tongues for their mistress. Otherwise, we are free, unchained. Like Yellowfinger, you can choose to believe that all fingers share camaraderie. But do not force your romance upon the rest of us.
Okay. Now, reload the area. Wait, did we just both turn to look at each other? Anyway. Okay, Rosaria's dead. She has... You could still... Okay, weird. But she has on her, if I can pick those up, Pillage Remains, Black Eye Orb. I've already shown the description for this in a previous video. Arcane Orb left on Rosaria's corpse. Have faith her soul can be retrieved by invading the world of her killer and returning victorious. The Black Eye's proof of vengeance, but often appears serene as it casts its gaze toward Irithyll. Let's head to Irithyll, specifically Anor Londo. It's right here. The screen's confusing sometimes when you've progressed as far as I have. God, this room... It always reminds me of that one of a Dark Souls 3 randomizer I watched, where like all the enemies were randomized throughout the whole game, and so were the bosses, and that mod would actually update the boss health bar text to whatever enemy replaced it. And in that playthrough, the Aldrich fight was replaced with Crystal Lizard, Devourer of Gods. I just love it so much. Okay, bring the Black Eye Orb up to this room. You feel the Black Eye Orb quivering. We need to weed their death root. Yeah? Do I wanna... Okay, I think I don't want to use it. Yes. Invade the world of Rosaria's killer? Yes! Absolutely! Invading another world is Dark Spirit. Pretty sure this is the only time you can invade offline, so I thought I should come and show this. It's really quick.
Well, never expected to see you here. Felt sorry for the poor thing in all her festering glory. And now you want to ravage her soul as well. I sow the seeds, I'll prune your mess. Leonhard, swear so upon my vows to the goddess.
Your vows to what goddess? You killed her! I guess she is kind of still alive. Maybe. Alright, Leonhard, let's go. It's been a while since I fought him. We do have less Estus, due to being an invader. Wow, that's a cool attack. That's probably that weapon's skill.
Her soul. Certainly no beast wrapped in human skin.
You talking about me? Dude, you literally look like a Bloodborne character.
Blessed Rosaria.
They just decided not to write a subtitle for that. I skipped over his last dialogue because I killed him so fast. Well, there we go. That's Leonhard's quest finished. Soul of Rosaria, Crescent Moon Sword, Silver Mask. The rest of Leonhard's set is probably available for sale at the Shrine Handmade. Visions of Misfortune, Visions of Princess. Yeah, she's gone. Get over it, guys. The Soul of Rosaria, Mother of Rebirth, stolen by Ringfinger Leonhard. Return this to her extant corpse, and Mother Rosaria will spring back to life, as if nothing had ever happened. Ringfinger Leonhard's weapon of choice, a type of shotel imbued with the power of the moon. Leonhard set out on a journey of rebirth, but decided instead to serve the goddess as a knight and inherited this weapon. In his youth, Leonhard suffered grave burns to his entire body. His face in particular, which he hid beneath his mask, was terribly scalded. He abstained from restoring these injuries, even after becoming a Finger of Rosaria, comma. Only I had a bonfire. Dude, it's just below. What do you mean? Okay, as I'm returning Rosaria's soul, I want to talk about something real quick that's been on my mind for a little while. People always complain about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and other such recent Nintendo games still being full price today, still being $60. I can see where they're coming from. It is annoying to have a game like that's almost 6-7 years old by now that's still full price today, but Nintendo is far from the only publisher doing this. Store Soul of Rosaria. There we go, she's back to life. It's kind of like the little thing in Bloodborne where you can revive Queen Annalise. I wish not to do anything to myself, though. If we're gonna complain about Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey still being full price today, I think we should also complain about other publishers that do the exact same thing. You want an example? You're looking at one. Dark Souls 3 is even older than Breath of the Wild and is still $60 today. And I don't want to hear any arguments about, oh, it's actually worth $60. No, man, Breath of the Wild is worth $60 as well. I don't care what you think about the game, it's worth $60 in my opinion. It's for that reason I don't really care that much that it's $60, because I think it was pretty worth it. But yeah, when I bought this game, I bought it and the DLCs together, which was probably a mistake since at the time I didn't even know if I would like the game. But yeah, I spent close to $100 on this game. I think in the end it was worth it, at least worth $60, but yeah. If we're gonna complain about Breath of the Wild still being $60 today, we need to complain about this game being $60 as well. Alright? Elden Ring is $60 and probably will remain, and I can understand if that game remains $60 because of how much more content it has. Elden Ring is the same price as this game. And it has, like, DLC built in, basically. A small thing I forgot to mention is that the Storm Ruler here, this is a reference to Demon Souls. There is a similar weapon in Demon Souls, the predecessor to the Dark Souls trilogy, that you use on a boss in that game, and it's the weakness of said boss. Here we go. What is this? Oh, I guess when I killed one of the NPCs in Grand Archives. Leonhard was born into royalty, which is believed to be the reason for his skill in both sorcery and swordsmanship. Indeed, these dingy trousers are in fact meticulously tanned, betraying their purpose as a military wear designed for a noble. There's the rest of his set, available for sale for not too much, but too much for me right now. And I don't exactly feel like killing enemies at this point. I could just go exist in the Ring City for 2 seconds and get them that way, but yeah, I don't really care. We've got a little bit left to talk about. 2 major topics that I wish to go over right here. First of all, there's a reason why I'm playing online. I want to talk a little bit more about Undead Matches, because I think that my stupid explanation in episode 13 was stupid. Because when I recorded that, I didn't really look into how this worked, so I had nothing but a very bare bones explanation to give. So I'd like to redeem myself a little bit here. I don't think I'm gonna play one. Sorry to say, I'm not that interested in PvP, and besides, it would probably just be 3 minutes of me being clobbered, and it wouldn't be that fun, so instead I'll describe them. These Undead Matches are basically just for fun, no stakes PvP matches. You don't really gain anything if you win, don't really gain much of anything if you win, and you don't lose anything if you lose. There are two main types, duels and brawls. Duels are a duel between two players. Every Undead match has a time limit of 3 minutes, but duels will end once someone has died. In addition, neither player in the duel can use the Estus Flask. They do at least give 5 charges of Ashen Estus Flasks. Brawls are more your standard deathmatch, and there's many different types. 2-player brawl, 4-player brawl, 6-player brawl. These are, they're your standard deathmatches of any game. You summon in and kill each other. Whoever kills each other the most wins within 3 minutes. Every player has one use of both Estus and Ashen Estus, but this one use is refilled if you get a kill. There are also... Okay, this one just lets you choose a 4-player brawl, 6-player brawl. There's also team-based versions, team deathmatches, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, co-op match, which is just you join a random team game. If you'd like to play with your friends, there is password matchmaking built in on this menu, although it seems the password can apply to both teams or only the one, so you can join like a team-based match up against randoms. Preferred team only applies to password matchmaking, I guess. The player who is in the lead in a brawl has a floating crown above their head, by the way, to signify that. There are 4 different maps you can play on. Kiln of Flame, which is based off the Kiln of the First Flame, Grand Roof, based off Grand Archives, Dragon Ruins, based off Archdragon Peak, and Round Plaza, based off Irithyll. Most of these are pretty much the same. This one's really flat, this one has some hills, this one has a second floor, this one might have some vertical layers as well, but for the most part, they're all pretty much the same. They're just, flat, open areas where you can have your PvP fun. The Kiln of Flame was the only map when the Ashes of Ariandel DLC released, but the Ringed City brought along these other 3 for other people to play on. I think you can also choose random. Yes, you can. You can see up there at the top I have a little section, Duel Honor and Brawl Honor. If you win enough times, you can get a medal of honor next to your name, also known as a badge. Badges go from iron to bronze to silver and then gold. I believe this badge will be displayed next to your username in all online formats, not just Undead Matches, but anytime you're summoned for anything else. If you lose too many times, though, your badge will decrease in quality and probably be removed eventually. This is the only thing you gain or lose upon winning/losing. The matchmaking is up to 10 levels plus 10% above the current soul level. I don't really know how to explain any further, but basically it looks for players above your current soul level, I think. I'm not sure. It's whatever's closest to your own. Alright, there. And that's about it for Undead Matches. Once again, I don't think I'm going to play any myself, but I will link some videos in the description that show off Undead Matches in action. And that leaves us with but one thing left to cover. I'm not going to be wearing this armor for very long, I don't think. Upon reaching the end of the credits, you are given the option to begin New Game Plus, also known as Journey 2. If you decline there, you have the option on the main Shrine Bonfire. This is certainly a lot more friendly than Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne, where you are just thrown into New Game Plus at the end of the credits. No ifs, ands, or asses about it. You see an ending, you're playing New Game Plus now. So, what do you say? I go into New Game Plus to demonstrate it a little bit. In order for us to really start again, though, we need to go back to what we once had. Let's go. Begin Journey 2. You will not be able to return to Journey 1, which is good to know. New Game Plus is exactly as it sounds. You begin the game over again, but with your current character with all their current stats and items. For the most part, we'll go over that in a little bit. Did you know, by the way, that this form of New Game Plus, this form of a second quest, wasn't really done or didn't have the term coined until the Squaresoft classic Chrono Trigger? I didn't know that. That was actually pretty cool to find out that Chrono Trigger started New Game Plus, basically. However, unlike Chrono Trigger New Game Plus and some other New Game Pluses throughout games, Dark Souls, being Dark Souls, isn't gonna let you off the hook this easy. We do have all our tools, but we don't have any of our key items. We will need to find the keys for doors again. I also don't believe we have any... We do. Never mind. We have all the covenants. All our stats are the same, but all enemies and bosses throughout the whole game have their health and damage scaled up. So it's going to be just as hard, if not perhaps even harder than before. I'm sorry to say that I don't think I'm going to pull a Chugga Conroy and do an entire playthrough of New Game Plus. As much as I would love to keep playing Dark Souls 3, I would also like to move on to other things, so let's see how many hits you take. You only took one in the first playthrough, and you only take one now. Okay, well, that's a promising start. I also want to see if there are any player messages in this first area, because it's all the tutorial messages, but are player messages allowed here? Seems like no, you're not allowed to place messages here. That's cool. Alright. Soul of a Proud Paladin. This is something new in New Game Plus. Enemies will yield more souls, but in addition to that, all soul items found throughout the game have new versions. Okay, it has the same description as the other ones from the first playthrough. I don't know if they're replaced outright with these new ones or what, but they might be. Throughout the first playthrough, the soul items were as follows. Fading Soul, Soul of a Deserted Corpse, Large Soul of a Deserted Corpse. All soul items from this point on have a large variant before the next level up. Then, Unknown Traveler, Nameless Soldier, Weary Warrior, and then Crestfallen Knight. In New Game Plus, you are able to find Proud Paladin, Intrepid Hero, Seasoned Warrior, Old Hand, Venerable Old Hand, Champion, and Great Champion, because the other champion wasn't that great, apparently. Each of them, oh god, just as before, each of them do have large versions. Well, that's quite a bit more damage you're dealing to me. I'm just going to play up until Uduk Skundir, and then I'm going to stop. As I said, I'm not really interested in doing an entire second playthrough. These guys still drop Fading Souls. Get with the times, man. If I may see real quick. Yeah, Soul of a Proud Paladin doesn't give that much more. It's certainly more than Deserted Corpse was, but yeah, not that much more. The Soul of a Great Champion does give 50,000 souls, so it's worth watching out for. Ooh, Speckled Stoneplate Ring +1. That's something new I'll be getting into in a second. There is another minor change in New Game Plus regarding what I just picked up, the rings. The closest you're going to be getting to finding new items in New Game Plus is upgraded versions of rings. I'll go over a full list of them in just a bit. For now, I want to kill this thing, if I can. I have kept all of my 12 Estus Flask charges, so it should be easy despite the increased health. Ow. Yeah, everything feels about the same as it is at the start of the game. Soul of an Intrepid Hero, already one step higher. So, what happens if and when you beat New Game Plus? You move on to New Game Plus 2. Electric Boogaloo. And you do it all again, except the enemies are even harder. And then after that, New Game Plus 3. And then New Game Plus 4, and then New Game Plus 5, and then New Game Plus 6, and then New Game Plus 7, and then it stops there. Taking in this view yet again. It's almost as if we weren't even here in the first place, and technically in this universe, we weren't. Even though upon the completion of New Game Plus 7, you can restart the game again, go through a New Game Plus 8. The game doesn't get any harder beyond that point, so you can consider New Game Plus 7 to be your ultimate challenge. I would like to Fire Orb these guys, actually, as I don't think I've inflicted any magic upon them. Oh man. Oh, that's gonna stab me. Alright, that's fine. You will find duplicates of items in every single spot. I'm pretty sure, anyway. There might be a couple caveats with that. That was a great little dance. We both missed each other. Titanite shards found in the same spots. That's good. You should be able to upgrade more weapons. It is worth noting that despite your levels being able to increase along with the enemies so that you can have more health and deal more damage, your weapons are stuck at +10 or +5 depending on where they are. They cannot go any higher than this. New Game Plus does not allow you to go any higher than that. In addition, even though you can level up your stats even more beyond this point, you will be stopped at the soft caps eventually, where leveling up the stat will barely do anything anymore. So, same goes for your Estus Flasks. There are no more Estus Shards or no more Undead Bone Shards to get. you're stuck here. At least I don't think. There could be, I don't think so, though. I don't think you get any higher than 15 charges or SS lasts plus 10. For Udic Skundir, it's good to know that you can get some free hits on him at the very start, as he's getting up. This will count against his health. I chose not to at the beginning, though, just for the challenge in the first episode. Okay, that's good. You did good, my friend. Let me drink. You're probably gonna hit me. And slam. Oh my god. I am doing like 200 damage, but it's about the same as 50 damage was doing in the first playthrough, so yeah. Everything is clearly made to be just as hard as it was in the first playthrough. Alright, get away, get away, get away. And... Ow, that's an attack. Man, something tells me this boss is not the greatest first boss for Dark Souls 3, because, like, this second phase is so weird, and it's really hard to tell what the boss is doing. It's not great in my opinion, but what can I do? It is at least quick to kill. So, it's not the worst thing in the world. I like that delayed message there. Wow, he gave me like 15,000 souls. That's quite a lot compared to what he gives you normally. So, now that we're done with that, it is time for me to go over the upgraded rings. You will find newly upgraded rings throughout new locations throughout the game. I did at least show one of them off, but I won't show what they are in case you'd be interested in playing New Game Plus yourself. If you're not, there's a list on the Vextra Life wiki that you can go check out. The two New Game Plus cycles that really matter the most are the first two, New Game Plus 1 and then New Game Plus 2. Beyond that, from New Game Plus 3 onwards, nothing is different except for the enemies having more health and dealing more damage. There are no changes to item placements, to soul items, or whatever. Just enemies dealing more damage, yielding more souls, etc. The first New Game Plus cycle contains the plus 1 versions of various rings. The second New Game Plus cycle will contain the plus 2 versions of various rings. From there, the Ring City DLC contains the plus 3 versions for some of those same rings, but not nearly as many, and there is one minor exception to that I will be going over very shortly. Not all rings go... Oh my god. Not all rings go up to plus 2, however, and fewer than that go up to plus 3. The following rings only have a plus 1 version. Flesh Bite Ring, Poison Bite Ring, Blood Bite Ring, and I believe the Speckled Stone Plate Ring as well that we just picked up. The following rings have a plus 1 and a plus 2 version, in which the plus 2 version is found in the second New Game Plus cycle. Wolf Ring, Ring of the Evil Eye, Lingering Dragon Crest Ring, Sage Ring, Covetous Silver Serpent Ring, Covetous Gold Serpent Ring, Dark Stone Plate Ring, Thunder Stone Plate Ring, Flame Stone Plate Ring, Magic Stone Plate Ring, Ring of Steel Protection, Ring of Favor, Havel's Ring, Chloranthy Ring, and the Wood Grain Ring for some reason. And then there's one that's a little bit special. The Life Ring. Very first ring we have. This one is unique. It does have a plus 3 version, but it's actually in New Game Plus cycles. It has a plus 1 and 2 version found throughout the first New Game Plus cycle, and then its plus 3 version is found in the second New Game Plus cycle. It's unique in that way. That is about it. You must pick up all versions of those rings in order to get the All Rings achievement. All of the plus 1 versions, all of the plus 2 versions on top of that. And what do you say before we enter Firelink Shrine? I fight this guy when you're supposed to, at the very start of the game. I'm probably going to die, but that's okay. I have 10 Estus, so it actually should be just fine. Most of the early game is going to might be slightly easier than it is on the first playthrough, just because we have more Estus this time around. We didn't start with just 3 uses. 3/4, depending on what you do. Okay, that was insanely easy. Good job, man. He does give you a duplicate of all that stuff. Ooh. Huh, interesting. I guess multiplayer messages aren't allowed to be written at first. Back into Firelink Shrine as if nothing else changed. Hey, Hawkwood's back! New Game Plus is a chance to do any side quests you may have missed, as well as another chance to get all of the remaining soul transposition items that you don't have yet. Some souls, that is the Nameless King, give you 3 items, so you're gonna have to do another cycle to get that. In addition, the crow, the weird crow at the top, all of her trades are reset, so you may trade all those items with her yet again. I have 40,000 souls, jeez.
Well, you're not gives me connip, don't you?
Yeah, I don't care. Hello, don't mind me. I just came out of the grave outside, you understand. Can I level up? No, I cannot at all. If you don't embed the coiled sword just yet, she will tell you how to do it. Bam, there we go. And I'll stop right here. I'll go talk to all the other guys and then stop right here, because I think I'll play the rest of New Game Plus on my own. There we go, ending this off with Outrider Knight armor, plus a crown. It's always so weird to me going back to this. Oh, you can buy the Firelink armor. That's cool. It feels so weird to me going back to her inventory at the start of the game and, like, seeing it all empty like this. And, yes, indeed, I have the ability to write messages now, so you need to embed the coiled sword to write messages. Good to know. So, to sum it all up, first 2 New Game Plus cycles have a couple new rings found throughout. Yeah, you just say the same thing. You must collect all of those rings if you want the achievement. I don't know if you progress onto New Game Plus 2 that you lose access to the +1 rings. I would hope not. That seems kind of stupid if you did. From that point on, from New Game Plus 3 onwards, game just has to get a couple final stutters in before we end this. From New Game Plus 3 onwards, it's the same game, except slightly harder. All the way up until New Game Plus 7, or Journey 8, as the game officially calls it. I call it New Game Plus 7 because that's how the community refers to it, and I'd rather stay consistent like that. If you can manage to go all the way and beat New Game Plus 7, you should go outside. That is everything I wish to cover in my playthrough of Dark Souls 3. We are now officially done with the game. And now my character can finally take her well-deserved break. Until I decide to continue New Game Plus, that is. Your foot is going into the rock, that's fine. Thank you all so much for watching this series, if you did. This is some of the most fun I have had making videos ever. I was making them kind of slowly, more slower than I'd like to at first, but then halfway through I got this surge of power that carried all the way through until the end, where like I just got all of them done really fast, and it was super fun. This game is really fun to play, and I am glad that I could make a playthrough of it. I don't know what it is about From Software games. They make such good YouTube playthroughs. Just something about their progression with collecting all these weapons and things combined with their high challenge. It's really fun to watch in my opinion, and so this is probably my favorite playthrough I've done so far. I don't know if I'm ever going to top it anytime soon. The only thing I would change about it is I definitely could have explained the multiplayer mechanics a little bit better in episode 11, now that I know a bit more about the multiplayer. But if that's, if that's the worst I have to say, then so be it. I'm gonna write a message at the top of these stairs real quick to end us off. Happiness required ahead. If you ever play this game, and you get really frustrated playing it, really angry, it might be time to take a break for a little while. I know I certainly had to take some breaks on some hard bosses. I am astounded, by the way, that I managed to record every single video in one session. I did not expect that whatsoever. I thought for sure Dark Eater Madir or Demon Prince would have taken me, and Demon Prince barely made it in one session. Because on the final attempt, I was going to give up if I lost. Then I ended up beating him, so that was really cool. For one final request, I guess, I highly recommend, after watching this video, go watch the Dark Souls 3 launch trailer. I know that might sound kind of weird, watching a trailer for a game you just watched all the way through, I assume anyway, but it makes for a really good video to sum up our journey throughout this game in a kind of an epilogue. So I'll be linking in the description as well as the upper right corner, and I'll be adding it to the end of the playlist. So go check it out. Until next time, thank you all for watching, if you did watch. And as always, have a tight night.